All right, let's just jump right into it. The interview cheat code, landing the job in a brutal market. Look, today we are completely reframing how you approach the absolute most critical moment of your entire job search. If you are just totally exhausted, feeling like your applications are basically disappearing into a black hole, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Because it all really comes down to this one dreaded question. So, why should we hire you? I mean, it literally makes or breaks your chances. But the real tragedy here? Most people don't even get the chance to hear it asked in the first place.
Think about this number for a second. 97. Out of every 100 people who apply for the exact same job as you, 97 will never even get an interview. The system just filters them out right away. In fact, 75% are blocked by algorithms before a human being ever even reads a single word. Crazy, right?
We really have to acknowledge reality here. The market right now is, well, it's undeniably brutal. Job optimism has completely tanked, and incredibly talented, highly qualified people are just exhausted. Too many folks are forced to call 20 unsuccessful interviews experience, while honestly they're slowly losing hope.
And just to put this insane level of competition into perspective, LinkedIn receives 11,000 applications every single minute. That is a massive number. The average job posting gets around 250 resumes, and entry-level roles, we're talking upwards of 400 to 600. So yeah, you are fighting for a seat in a very, very crowded room.
But let's say you miraculously make it past the algorithms. What happens then? Well, a recruiter is going to skim your resume in 17 seconds flat. Honestly, that's your entire window. 17 seconds to make an impression.
So step into the recruiter's shoes for just a second. They're reviewing, say, 60 candidates a week. 47 times they hear, "Oh, I'm a hard worker." 51 times they hear, "I'm a really quick learner." It's just an endless loop. It's the interview equivalent of putting ketchup on literally everything. Just empty repetition.
And because of that repetition, over 50% of recruiters just mentally dismiss candidates the exact second they hear those cliches. And it's not because they're mean. It's because these phrases carry absolutely zero real information and, frankly, zero proof. In a quick 20-minute interview, relying on these tired buzzwords is the modern equivalent of listing Microsoft Office as a special skill on your resume in 2026. It means absolutely nothing.
Okay, so what do? We have to change the strategy entirely. Stop treating the job description like a formality and start treating it as your literal cheat sheet. You can do this with a super simple 3-step framework. 1. Start with their problem. 2. Find your real overlap. And 3. Bring your receipts.
Let's break that down. Step 1. Before you even think about talking about yourself, you need to investigate their actual problems. Did the CEO just post about scaling issues last week? Is the company's LinkedIn talking about a new market expansion? Or maybe Glassdoor reviews keep mentioning unclear processes? Look, the really smart candidates read between the lines, and they bring that intel directly into the room.
Next up, list out the skills in the job description and find your genuine overlap. Do you only have 4 out of the 6? That's fine. Own that gap. Self-awareness is actually super impressive. But then, you have to replace those boring buzzwords like "I manage social media" with concrete proof. Instead, try saying something like, "I grew our LinkedIn in 6 months by posting carousels every Tuesday at 8 a.m." See the difference?
Because that right there is what actually lands the job. Skip the buzzwords, bring concrete receipts. 75% of hiring managers specifically say they want quantified achievements. If you can show proof that you actually move numbers, like say a 22% reduction in refunds or catching a $40,000 billing error, that is going to get you 40% more callbacks, period. So when they inevitably ask, "Why should we hire you?" this is exactly how your 90-second answer should sound. You tell them, "From what you've shared, it sounds like the team's producing a lot of content, but the engagement hasn't caught up. That gap between output and impact is something I've worked on directly." It's essentially a mini business case. You start with their problem, offer a specific result from your past, prove how you think, and end with forward motion, telling them exactly what you change in your first 30 days. You need X, I've done X, and here is the absolute proof.
The next time you sit down for an interview, I want you to skip the tired buzzwords and bring those receipts. Because if your resume doesn't reflect the required skills with actual hard proof, you aren't really applying for a job, you're just sending a hope. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Is your next application sending a hope, or is it delivering a rock-solid business case?